Now I don't know if this is gonna work right now because I'm probably in a or something. So we'll see, man. If it starts saying reloading, yeah, we know for sure it's not gonna work. Y'all let me know if anybody pops in. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Sitting here waiting for my boss to do a little bit of extra work, do some night work. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What up, big Wi-Fi? What's good with you, brother? How you doing, fam? We're headed to another site right now. Do some night work and get a little bit of extra, some bread, you know. But salute to the family. I don't know if it's gonna start reconnecting because of the little area I'm in, but we're gonna try to get through this real quick. I'm not gonna keep it too long. So somebody had hit me and asked me about is there a car that's specifically for others in Colorado DOC? And if you kind of don't know what that means, it's kind of like asking, like, besides the original organizations, is there like a other car for like Islanders and the Asians and stuff? So this is really how it goes, honestly. I have never heard like people say the other car, like the others car, and it's just like specifically for like a specific group. But I do know that like with the Asians and like the natives, specifically, you gonna either ride for the hood that you from, or you gonna just basically ride for the natives or the Asians, if that makes sense. So if you're politicking and you're from a neighborhood, a gang, right? And you want to stay, you know what I'm saying, loyal to the neighborhood on the yard, then you're gonna ride with, you know what I'm saying, if you an Asian Crip, I seen them fools, I seen a couple Asian Crips ride with the Lokes, but I also seen them fools just ride with the Asians, like straight Asians, you know, it's Asian Bloods, Asian Crips. They just kind of drop that mentality when they get in the penitentiary and they all ride together. It's just like with the natives too. You know what I'm saying? The natives, a lot of them fools, they start doing the sweat lodge, you know, and basically kind of just do their sweat lodge ceremonies, and, you know, and they kind of just do that. And that's who they ride with, is the natives. Cause I know a lot of them fools are like, you either going to ride with the structure of the natives and do sweat lodge and do your ceremonies. Cause I had a couple partners that was like, you know, really, really about that, like the sweat lodge. Shout out to them for my homie Angel and Walking Eagle, Buddy Walking Eagle. They were good ass native homies. And they really didn't participate in the politics on the yard, you know? So I would say if really to answer that question, it just depends on what the individual, what his mindset's on. So if he's more on some pushing gang politics in his hood, you know what I'm saying? I seen some Asians ride with the Lokes like fully throttle. And then if they're more about, you know what I'm saying, their ceremonies and their religion, and that's what they're focusing on, they kind of do the native thing and just like ride with all the natives, you know? So yeah, you could say there's like another car. What's up with it, Matthew? How you doing, brother? You could say that there is other car, but it's not specifically out here in Colorado. Cause I know like in California, bro, they have a other car, and it's just like all the Asians are going to ride with the Asians, and the Samoans are going to ride with the Samoans. Even if they're Crips or Bloods, they're going to ride with pretty much the culture, you know? Do the Mexicans in there ride with the whites? Nah, not out here, homie. To be honest, I'm gonna be 100% real with you. In DOC out here, I never really seen them fools team up like to go to war with the blacks. I just see everybody rides with their own car. So, you know, the Paisas, The what you might see is the Sureños and the Paisas riding together tough, bro. But I never seen the Sureños link up with the white boys out here and, you know what I'm saying, rush the black fools. Like I said, in Colorado DOC, it really wasn't about like racial wars, bro. Like there's people that are in prison mindset, but I didn't really see that out here too much, bro. Like it was all about your gang and your hood that you're from. You know what I'm saying? Like what organization you run with. That's what's going on, you know. No Mexicans and white don't get along out here. The yard is it's damn for real, Matthew. I mean, everybody tries to keep aspect of neighborhoods because like you'll have, like I said before, homie, and this is just the backyard of Colorado, bro. It's you had different foods from different organizations that might be like a white Crip, and if he's a rider and he's holding it on his tool, he gonna be able to survive on the yard in GP. Just like I seen some north side fools that were black, homie. He survived on the yard. The Sureño that was black, he survived on the yard. See Mexican Crips, they survived on the yard. Mexican Bloods, they survived on the yard because out here, before anything, it was more about organization when I was doing time. Now they switched up a lot of it. And I know that's a common question from California, bro. Does the white boys, like the white boys and the Mexicans, do they team up and do they go against the blacks? I never seen them fools actually link, homie. I never seen them fools link and have each other's back. What's up with it, my homie? What's up with it, the riders, man? Hope everybody's good. Where's out here, NorCal, have a loose alliance with the brothers. Yeah, I heard like Northern Cali is going to be like that. Definitely. They have more relations in the neighborhoods with each other, you know, the blacks and the Mexicans for sure. I know people don't want to believe this, but I'm going to say it like this, homie. Check this out. The homie, right? The homie he was a Looney Ace Crip, homie. He was a Looney Ace Crip, right? Those are Pueblo fools. They're Looney Ace Crips from Pueblo. They're all Mexicans, though. But their OG homie that started it, he was a brother. He was a black fool, right? He started Looney Ace Crips. He put on a gang of fools from Pueblo, right? And Looney Ace Crips is like Latin Ace, the Ace gang. You know what I'm saying? From Pueblo. They don't get along with Sureños. He hit the yard, and the Sureños at the time didn't want the Aces on the yard. So they were taking them off the yard, like on site. It was the same time frame that they were doing it to a lot of the Norteños. They were pushing the line on the Norteños at the time too, and even some of the Chicky chapters. You know what I'm saying? So the fool Z, he comes on the yard, bro, and they try to send word that they want him to get took off the yard. Well, Gary, I don't want to say names, right? The OG from Looney Ace Crip, he sends word to quote the little fool to Looney Ace Crip. That's the only thing that saved that little dude, bro, is the Crippin' part, because they couldn't cause a whole war. The Sureños couldn't cause a whole war with the Crips over a small portion of Pueblo politics, right? So he's good. He's good on the yard, right? He survives. Like they kind of take the pressure off his neck. So some of the Sureños don't like it from Pueblo, homie. They didn't like that shit because he was still on the yard. There's an individual over there, bro, and the Looney Ace Crip, homie, he was smashing that fool's baby's mom in Pueblo. He was smashing her, homie. Like that's what he was doing. So that fool heard, he hit the yard, and as soon as he hits the yard, he tries to make an issue out of it, right? He tries to make an issue out of him smashing his baby's mom. So we're going back to the units, homie. We're gonna go back to the units, and the Sureño fool, he says he wants the head, but they were plotting to jump the homie, bro, and they didn't know that the homies had the homies back. So as soon as we got word that they were gonna actually rush this fool, some of the lokes was like, nah, that ain't going down. So the yard was split up. There was an upper yard and a lower yard. And when you came through the metal detectors, because you had to go through these metal detectors to go back to the units, the Sureños were in front walking. The fool that's gonna bang with the homie, he's like in the mix, and then all of a sudden we come out and we're deep, and then the white boys they have some shit going on, tripping with the Sureños too, so they back up some of the Lokes. Craziest shit I ever heard, right? The Lokes and the white boys, because they have beef with the Sureños, they walk up and say, if you jump this fool, we're gonna set it off on the yard. You guys need to let these fools fight. So they get to fighting. Boom, boom, boom. The Looney Ace Crit fool gets the best of this dude, bro. But my point is, the white boys backed up some of the Lokes. You know what I'm saying? And you want to actually hear that in the county. I mean, in California, right? That don't go down. Another time, bro, and I said this too, and some of the Sureños like this, right? We're in Bend County Correctional Facility, and the OG that has the keys for the Lokes, he has relationships with one of the Sureños. So it's an OG from the land. He got relations with the Sureño, right? First time I ever heard this, because technically in the penitentiary, the Crips and the Sureños out here are going to be one of the deepest cars. They're going to be the deepest cars on them yards, right? They got relations. There's a hood out here called the LPPs, bro. They mess with more of the north side and some of the Chicano Bloods. While somehow, bro, the OG Loke and the Sureño, they talked and they try to connect the blue rags with each other, bro. And they actually pressed them fools in the hallway, and it almost turned into a whole aspect of blue rags and a whole aspect of red rag gangs. So yeah, bro, like out here, it's a little different, homie. Like, it's interesting, homie. Like, you know, so like I said, I never really seen a racial tension. I never really seen like a racial war on the yard, homie. I see more of gang wars and fools going to war with each other over gang banging, you know. What up with it, Big Rocky? Like, and some Norteños out here in Pueblo have gone out all bad. Same with KPC. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it goes though, bro, right? That's kind of how it goes when you actually don't have the numbers and you're outnumbered by the enemies and you hit them compounds. Like, a lot of people, some people might break, bro. Like, a lot of people will pull up in them units or them pods and see that their enemy's deeper, and you know, they basically get rushed, bro, and then all of a sudden they stop banging. CXIV, bro. I heard of it. C14, the Norteños and the Crips. Yeah. There was a couple of homies that I knew on the yard too that actually knew about that. And what's interesting out here, homie, is that the Norteños and the Bloods, you would think Denver Norteños and Bloods actually have more relation than the Crips at all, bro. But out in Northern Cali, they had a CXIV, C14. You know what I'm saying? And one of the homies that's from the land, bro, he's from Northern Cali. He didn't understand why them fools actually mess with the Bloods so much out here, you know. But that's just kind of how it went, you know. It was kind of interesting, homie, to see that. But yeah, bro, like, now I'm hearing though too, honestly, now I'm hearing that the yard is totally different. The yard is totally different than when I was doing time. I really ain't been to the penitentiary since 2012, 11, bro. That was the last time I was in the pen. Yeah, out here. Yeah, see, in Pueblo back in the day, that was never a situation, because I used to be just straight blue rags, bro. Pueblo was, when I was growing up, it was straight blue rags in Pueblo. The red rags, there was no real red rags. Now they had a presence of like some old school Bloods, but they didn't get no pass out there, homie. They were on them fools' heads. My uncles was and Sam and turned Paisa. Wow. I mean, to be honest, homie, you got to put that in perspective. Like, there was one time in the era of Colorado, and for a long time it was like that, bro. Like, the Sureños were just, they have been pushing their power, homie, and they were tripping off of anything north. I know people like think it's some hate and shit, but it's the truth, homie. And they really gave the NSMs more of a pass because that wasn't really a Denver like conflict. Like that wasn't really a Denver beef, homie, when I was growing up. But the Northenials, homie, that were like existing out here, they didn't get no passes, bro, at the time I was doing time, you know. And then there was a couple times when the NSMs went to war too, bro. They went to war at Buena Vista. They got into it. They got into a big old bang session in like 2007 at Buena Vista. And they got rushed by the Sureños, but they were holding their ground. There was a couple of them Northside Mafia fools that were holding their ground. And I remember when that shit popped off because they started shipping Northside Mafia to every facility. They held their ground though, bro. You know what I'm saying? They did definitely hold their ground. You know what I'm saying? So big ups to them fools that were riding. They got rushed like 20 to 7, homie. That was like 20 Sureños and like 7 NSMs. And a couple of my main partners, bro. They were actually in that whole riot at Buena Vista. Where at? What you mean out in Pueblo? Yep. Buena Vista was the Thunderdomes, bro. It was the gladiator school. And the Sureños, they didn't give no passes to North at that time, especially the Norteños, you know? No pass, bro. They were fully on them fools' helmets. So yeah, they were tripping. Now the NSMs definitely they got more of a pass because they were from Denver, and really the NSMs didn't really have a lot of beef because there wasn't many Sureños that were out here in Denver, Colorado, homie. You know. Okay. See, even in your neck of the woods, Matthew, it was just Crips versus Sureños, bro. At one time, there was nothing else in Pueblo, homie, but Crips and Sureños. You know, so they had a lot of beef. They had a ongoing beef out there, bro. And the Sureños out there were they were kicking up dust too. But it was a pretty vicious war out there. You know, I heard they made whack out. Yeah, the Norteños that I knew. You either had to be a real life rider and a real life like go getter and a fool that just press lines to stay on them yards, or they were tripping on you, bro. They were gonna make you actually cover up them tattoos. They were making them cover up their tattoos, bro. I know some personal homies that they said you got to cover up that bird. They were tripping off that shit. Soon as they hit the yard too, there was like a big ass message. Hey, one of them fools hit the yard, and as soon as they heard that shit, bro, they was sending word to that dude. You had 24 hours to get off that yard, or they're gonna rush you. Yeah, I got jumped. We got jumped in Pueblo before, fool. I actually had a big ass fight over there in Pueblo at the little bar that they had. They definitely didn't like Denver fools. Nah, it's not like that no more, my bro. Like I heard that them fools got the word that they had to stop a lot of the beefs. So people coexist. One of my homies was saying they were just chilling. They were just cool on. That's what he said. And I can't even think of it like that, bro, because it's like when I was doing time, it was such a them two cars right there, they were tripping. They didn't get no play, bro. They was tripping on each other. Like they hated each other. All out war on the yard at that time, you know? But I guess they coexisting now. I guess them fools actually are coexisting on the yards together. Yeah, nah, real talk. I learned that the hard way, bro, because I had a homie that was from Oakland and he hit the compound, homie, and as soon as he hit the compound, before he before he could even unpack, they were already tripping on that fool. And they approached that fool. One of the shot callers from the Sureños approached that fool and told that fool he had to cover up his norteño tats or he was gonna get took off the yard, bro. And they gave him 4 days. They gave him 4 days and they rushed that fool, homie. They airlifted that fool out the pen. Well, yeah, nah, definitely, bro. I mean, Pueblo, there's nothing to really do in Pueblo. There's no opportunity, bro. You know what I'm saying? So all them fools, that's all they really focus in. They don't have really any opportunity out there. I mean, there's not really a lot of opportunity. So of course everybody's gonna be tripping. You're gonna either smoke dope or you're gonna be gang banging. What up with it? What's up with it, man? Mile high salute. I went because so right before I go to the Crowley compound, bro. They had set it off, homie, and they rioted in Crowley. Them fools actually they basically just set it off and got the weights taken out. Fools was getting hit with weights, homie. They literally set it off and turned Crowley into a lockdown facility because at one time you can move. It was just basically like open movement. Once they rioted and set it off over there, they made that into a controlled movement, homie. You was not getting you wasn't be able to move anywhere. So I slid over there, homie, and I slid over there for just a tad bit. I wasn't over there for too long, but I ended up banging with the little fool from Mafias as soon as I got up there because I used to get into it with some fools from Mafia styles. They was Crenshaw Mafia fools, bro, the brothers. And as soon as I hit that compound, bro, boom, they was tripping. So me and homie got down, you know what I'm saying? And then that same dude, he ended up in another facility that I was at too. And he got put under the bed and sent off the yard, bro. So yeah, like Crowley was locked down when I was over there, bro. Like you couldn't really have space to do anything, but they were getting down with the tattoos, definitely. What up, Big George? What's cracking with you, man? I'm around to G-Kyle here in Pueblo that are at war with the Bessemer. Yeah. That's crazy, bro. Because the G's, they're going through a lot out here in Denver, bro. Like that's just wild. My cousin doing 15 years in Crowley up. Matt, and that used to be Sureñoville too. The Sureños had that shit on lock over there, bro. Especially with the Mexicans. A lot of Crips over there. A lot of Sureños over there. What's up, Ben? What's cracking with you, bro? That was another thing is too, bro, is like a lot of times out here, the predominantly between, you know, like the Mexicans and then the blacks, bro, like Crippin was predominantly on them yards. I mean, when I was doing time, and then it was Sureños and Paisas. Paisas was turned up. Paisas was like a whole gang, homie. They was like super turned up. Yeah, but I mean, when you say Halla Bloods, homie, like the Crips on them compounds outnumber the Bloods at every compound I ever been to. Every compound I ever been to, homie, the Lokes outnumber the Bloods because you got the Crips outnumber the Bloods, bro, because you got Crips from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Bloods, homie, you know what I'm saying? But I haven't did time in a long time, like I'm saying, bro, you know what I'm saying? But I never been to a compound where the Bloods were deeper than the Crips. Never, not one compound. You know what I'm saying? It was always the deepest gangs. There was always the Sureños and the Paisas, if you definitely want to label them a hood, but they were acting like a hood at one time. Cause the East Side, yeah, well, the East Side for the most part only does its own thing, really, bro. Like there's been a lot of times where the East Side just didn't mess with nobody. It was East Side Crippin', and then the West Side and the Cali foods, and even Southern Colorado Springs, they did their own thing too. You know, I know hella Crips in Colorado Straight Pen. Yeah, you meet a lot of Crips, bro. Like Crip sets you ain't never even heard of going to the pen, and there's all kinds of Crips from Colorado Springs, Pueblo, California Crips, Denver Crippin, Aurora, Montbello. You got Crips from everywhere, you know what I'm saying? So you, like I said, you know, and that's not true with the Bloods, you know, that's not really true with the Bloods. Like you'll have a lot of Bloods from Denver, but like in other sections, bro, like Springs, way more Crips in Springs, Pueblo, way more Crips in Pueblo. So it's like you meet a gang of different gangs, and it's like, damn. And with the Crippin aspect, it was all segregated though, separate. I mean, everybody didn't mess with each other, you know what I'm saying? But if you put all the Crip numbers versus all the Bloods, the Crips outnumber the Bloods in the penitentiary by far. I was cool with a couple fools from PCV, Colorado Springs. Yeah, there's deep out there too. The Sureños is deep out there in Springs, you know. But then again, too, I've been on a yard too where all the Crips were under one rag. You never seen that ever, homie. You never seen that ever. All the Crips under one rag, and it was just because the West Side and the East Side, they both had good ass people that brought it together and said everybody got to ride, and the whole Crip car was under one rag. You know, they accomplished more like that. To be honest, they accomplished way more like that being under one rag, you know. Just got off work. Hell yeah, man. I'm about to go do a couple hours at the work site. Yeah, that's what is that, a Sureño hood, Matthew? I would say the federal pen, bro, is more like state. Like you're gonna ride with your state. State pen is just gangbang central, bro. Like a lot of gangbanging going on in the states. Federal pen, it's more of your cities and states. Like that's the difference. State penitentiary, it's active like gang banging. Like fools are tripping, gangbangers are on them yards tripping program, and that's what the state is all about. Federal pen, it's more, you got different type of crimes in there. You got like embezzlement and all that shit, bro. So it's like different type of convicts, you know. So yeah, it's a different ball game for sure. I hear when you get to the state, and I don't know about the feds too much, but I hear when you get to the feds, it's not really like separated between gangs. It's more like the state, like your state. You're from Colorado, you're gonna ride with Colorado fools. You from Cali, you're gonna ride with Californians. You're from Washington D.C., you're gonna ride with Washington D.C. Yeah, night shift. Hell yeah. Well, I'm only doing a couple hours with the homie. I've been waiting here for a little minute. I'm waiting for him to pull up for we can go cut a couple of these branches. Okay, see all out war. Hell yeah, man. I think every city got some all out war going right now. Yeah, I bet that was a beautiful view. A super beautiful view, bro. What's up with it? What's going on, Rada? All high salute to the homies. Hope everybody's good, man. How about them queefs? I know they're getting knocked off. But yeah, man. So yeah, just I wanted to answer that question because somebody asked me if there's a other car when you hit the penitentiary. Is there the others? And I never like out here really never heard it put it in that way, the others. But all I can say is like if the natives, like if it's a native and he's a loc, right? He has the option to ride with the locs, or he got the option to ride with the natives like Sweat Lodge. Same with the Damus that are like native. Asians, I only seen a couple Asians ride with gang banging on the yard. They usually ride all amongst each other. Like all the Asians ride with each other. Even if you were Asian blood, an Asian crib, you're gonna ride with the Asians. So yeah, there's others in that perspective of mine, but there was never really a car. Like there's an option. There's really an option. You could either ride with the locs or you could ride with, your religion, really like the Sweat Lodge and shit, to be honest. To the realist, you know what it is. Let's go, Rada. Hope everybody's good on this beautiful day. I've been to jail one time when I out there in Oklahoma. Ooh, yeah, man. I heard that shit sucks out there. The jail suck out there. It was so cool. And one time we had to work on 4th of July. Damn, I bet you seen the fireworks going off though. Stay tuned up for the video of me talking about one time when I was in jail. Hell yeah, bro. Stay away from jail though. Jail's trash, homie. Jail's trash. See, it was a different ball game too when I was doing time too, fellas. Like when I was doing time, not all the bloods mess with each other. There was Mexican bloods and there was black bloods, and they didn't mess with each other at all. Like there was times they didn't even mess with each other. It was like two different cars. Now, they all pull that shit together and they all ride with each other. For the most part, a lot of the Mexican locs was always riding with the east side because there's more east side locs that are Chicano than anything. So yeah,